All right, so for 2023 and probably 2024, the Medicare Advantage plans are absolutely exploding in the United States. And in this video, I want to give you the raw data as to why this is happening. Now, the first thing I want to show you, as you see on the screen, is this chart of the United States. And this says share of beneficiaries enrolled in Medicare Advantage in 2022 by state. Now, this is from kff.org. Now, let's take a look. If you see here, it's 50 to 60% of the people on Medicare are in green are on Medicare Advantage. So you look at Florida, it's 56% of the people. Texas, 52. California, 52. Pennsylvania, 52. These green states, look at how many of them there are. These are the states that have the highest number of Medicare Advantage enrollees. But here's the big kicker. I know you want to look at the raw data and you want to know why it is that people are leaving Medicare supplement plans and going to Medicare Advantage plans, or why are they staying on the Med Sup as opposed to going over to Medicare Advantage. Now let's look at the raw numbers. So I've shown this chart before, but I put the numbers in a lot differently this time. So I have up here a Medicare Advantage plan and 3 different gap plans, the most popular, which is Plan G, Plan N, and Plan High Deductible G. But if you've watched some of my other videos, these numbers are a lot different, and I'm going to get into why they're different. So this is for somebody who is 75 years old. Now, this is actually from today's numbers. If you were to get on a Medigap plan, this is for 10 years later what you would be paying for a Plan G. So if you're 65 years old in 2022, just add 10 years, 2032, and this is with 5% inflation what you'll be paying. All right, so let's get into some of the raw numbers. So how did I come up with these numbers? Real quick, I did what a 65-year-old, I looked at my quote engine, what they would be paying today for a Plan G, N, and High Deductible G. And I did these numbers in 6 different states. You can see on the left here, California, Pennsylvania, Florida, Illinois, Kentucky, and Michigan. If you notice, what I did was I took the East Coast, a couple different states, I took the West Coast, and I also did the Midwest and the southern region to get these numbers. Now, for an average of all these 6 states, someone who's 65 years old that wants to get on a Plan G today will be paying $140. For a Plan N, $106, and for a Plan High Deductible G, an average of $40. This is per month. So $40 per month, $140 per month. Now, how I got these numbers up here, if you take a look at even this California, $145, and I looked at the quote engine for somebody who is 75 years old today. But what I had to do is add in inflation, because if you get on a G plan right now, you're not going to pay what people who are 75 years old today are going to be paying. What you have to do is you have to take what they're going to be paying, add 5% inflation, which is over 10 years, which is 50% inflation, and then add that to what they would be paying today. So this is what I came up with. $321 from $145 is what you would be paying. So if you get on this plan today, you're going to pay $145. 10 years from now, this is what you'll be paying. So here's the averages. $237 for Plan G for someone who's 75 years old. For Plan N, someone who's 75 years old, $192. And for Plan High Deductible G, $92 for somebody who's 75 years old. So now let's jump back into the other chart. So what I did for Plan G, and bear with me, I'm going to get into the Medicare Advantage plans, but I have to go over this stuff so you can make a comparison. So for a premium, on average, for someone who's 75 years old, would be paying $237. This is in the future if you got on G right now. $237. The only thing that you would pay for hospital and doctor would be this $226 per year. That would equal $3,070 per year for a 75-year-old 10 years from now, what they would pay. Now, some of you might be saying, well, that's not that bad. $3,000 for the best coverage in the country. which I say, yeah, sure, look at this. You get 100 days for skilled nursing, CAT scans are 0, hospital is 0. You get all of this. But others are saying, yeah, but I have to pay for my drug plan an average of $35 per month. So I have to take this and take this number and add another $400 for the year plus copays. Then I don't get dental, vision, and hearing, so I have to get a separate plan for that, add $40 per month. So now we're looking at, let's just say, another $100 per month, which will be another $1,200 that you would have to add to this. Some people say, you know what, I don't want to pay that at 75 years old, or, I'm retired, my money's going to be going down. Others say, you know what, even $4,000 a year or whatever it may be is great for me. I love it. This is the best coverage for that kind of money. For Plan N, I did the same thing, but I took $192. Plan N, you have to add that deductible, that same deductible as G has, for the year of $226, and then you have to add up to $20 per doctor visit. So I took 10 visits, and so I added $200. So $192 times 12 plus the deductible of $226 plus 20 doctor's visits would equal $2,730. Look at the benefits, same thing. 100 days in skilled nursing, 0 for CAT scans, 0 for hospital at that point, except for $50 for the emergency room, which is waived if you go into the hospital and stay overnight, or if you're admitted. But look at all this for $2,730 for the year. This is 10 years into the future. People are like, you know what, this is great. But I still have to pay that $35 a month for a drug plan. I still have to pay $40 for my dental, vision, and hearing. Do I really want this? Now let's jump over to, real quick, we'll go high deductible. G. Same thing as the G. $92 times 12 will be your premium, but it has this $2,700 deductible, what you pay first. But even if you maxed out the deductible, it's $3,804 for the year, but most likely a lot of people don't max it. If you don't go to the hospital, you're not going to max this out. You'd have to go to the hospital probably a few times to max this out. A lot of people don't. So they might be paying $1,500 a year. But I've gone into this plan on other videos, so check out my high deductible Plan G in those videos if that's what you want to look at. Now, you have to add the drug plan and the dental and vision for all these gap plans. But for Medicare Advantage, if you notice, drugs, the copays you'll have to pay for, but not the plan. Same thing with dental. So let's jump over to Medicare Advantage. Here is why people are jumping to the Medicare Advantage plans. And I'm going to go over this thoroughly. I hope you stayed with me for this video this long. If you talk to people, you're going to get two different sides. It's almost like Republican and Democrat when it comes to Medicare Advantage and gap plans. It's really that bad. So what happens is if someone's on a gap plan, say, oh, I'm paying this, I got great coverage, I didn't pay anything to go to the hospital. Someone's on Medicare Advantage, say, you know what, I never go to the hospital anyway, and I don't want to pay $237 for a premium per month. And I want a drug plan attached because I only take one drug. I don't want to pay for a plan. So this is 3 different plans for Medicare Advantage. I have one PPO, that's Advantage number 1. I have an HMO, and I have another PPO. These are 3 separate parts of the country. So how does this work? Well, the first one I did is from Pennsylvania, where I'm from. And I'm from Philadelphia. There's 5 counties that surround Philadelphia. It's the 4 suburbs and Philadelphia, for the counties. And this one plan happens to be just really taking over that whole area. And I have about 50 or 60 clients of mine on this plan. I went over this plan thoroughly. A lot of them used to be on a gap plan and then went to this plan, or their cousin or sister was on this plan and this is what they wanted. The thing about this plan is it's 0 premium plan. It costs $250 if you're to stay overnight in the hospital, but for a surgery, it costs $375 if you had the surgery and then went home. For the specialist, it costs $35 each time you go. For the doctors, it costs $0. Now for this plan, if you look, and some of these plans are different, $300 for a CAT scan. And for skilled nursing, you don't get 100 days like the gap plan, you get 20 days at a 0 premium. Now, the major thing with all three of these plans, you have to look at the max out of pocket because this is what you could possibly be paying. Now, all of these plans come with a drug plan for free and dental, vision, and hearing. Let me slide this over. For free. But you'd still have to pay copays for your drugs, and for the dental and vision and hearing, you have to pay copays also. So let's take a look at these three plans. The max out of pocket is one of the first things that you have to ask your agent. What is the max out of pocket for this? Because this is like you get hit by a bus and you're in the hospital for, in and out for 6 months, and you go to the doctors or whatever. This is what you'll be paying. And so for this top plan up here, the one that I have my clients on that are on a PPO, I never give them, some people are on an HMO, let me correct myself. But for this one, this is the majority. The max out of pocket is $7,550. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, why didn't you put your clients on a $1,900 max out of pocket or $4,900? This is in network $4,900, out of network $8,900. This one is $7,550 in network and about $10,000 out of network. Meaning if you go to somebody out of network, you're going to be paying more. Well, the reason being is it is so hard for me to find a hospital or a doctor that does not take this plan in that area. There's literally $84,000, I say that all the time, 84,000 doctors that accept this plan in the Philadelphia area, and practically every hospital accepts it. So one of the questions I get is, yeah, but what if you go outside of the state? You go to a different state for vacation. I have noticed that doctors accept this all over the country. There's certain doctors and hospitals. You just call up and say, hey, I'm going to Arizona or I'm going to Florida. What hospitals and doctors accept this, especially hospitals, because that's, the big ticket item. But for these other two plans, like an HMO and so forth, that has a $1,900 out of pocket, I've noticed if you're the type of person that lives in an area, you never travel, you never go anywhere. And there's a lot of people like this, nothing wrong with it. But, you kind of travel within a 10-mile radius, so you know the hospital you're going to go to, the doctors that you go to. This is the people that get on this plan that's going to have a max out-of-pocket $1,900, because the biggest problem is that the network is very small and you can't go out of the network. Doctors won't accept it. So if you're out of the network, you're moving and shaking, you might say to yourself, oh, I want to go on a trip or I want to go here. They're not going to accept it. You're going to pay this doctor fee or hospital fee, and they're not going to accept the plan. So you're going to be in major trouble. So just because it's a maximum of $1,900 doesn't mean that the plan, you can just go anywhere you want and they'll accept you with that plan. Same thing down here with another PPO. I've noticed the max out of pocket's $4,900. This plan, same thing. It might be great until you have to find your doctor. So the key thing is you have to know if all your doctors are in the plan for Medicare Advantage and if the hospitals are in the plan. That's the biggest thing. Outpatient centers, if you're going to have surgery, and your hospitals have to be in this network or you're going to have problems. This is why people pay this big money for Plan G and high deductible G. So why is everyone moving over to Medicare Advantage? Because there's a lot of people that have said, hey, look, I talked to my neighbor. They're paying zero premium each month. They literally only spent $500 last year for the entire year for their plan. And they had drugs, and they had vision, dental, and hearing. And they had a dentist that covered practically everything. They had crowns done, and it only cost them $50 to have this done. So this is why people are moving over. One of the major concerns that I have, and look, it's just a concern, it doesn't mean it's set in stone, is that if the government stops subsidizing these plans as much as they are, these plans, the premiums could go from zero and start going $25, $50, $100 a month. If you're paying $100 a month for this Medicare Advantage, you might as well have either a high deductible G or a Plan N, because this high deductible G is accepted everywhere throughout the entire country as long as they accept Medicare, which is over 95% of the hospitals and doctors in the United States. So I've never had anyone that has said, I went to this hospital and they didn't accept Medicare, so I couldn't go. So with this plan, this is a catastrophic coverage plan. You're covered everywhere, probably 98% of doctors and hospitals. And if you go on traveling or whatever, you're not going to have any problems. So a lot of people like to get this high deductible G as opposed to the Medicare Advantage plans or the Plan N. And the people that want, hey, I want the best coverage. I don't want to fool around. I don't want all these copays. I just want to pay my premium and then bang, I'm done for the year. These are the people that get on the Plan G. I hope this video helped. Of course, I can't quote you on anything or give you personal advice unless I talk to you. So call my office if you need to talk to me personally, or you can go to my website, Medicare-365.com, and you can leave a comment or a question there, and then I can get back to you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you at the next video.